So in today's video, I'm going to be previewing Bradford City versus Gillingham FC, and then the second part of today's video, I'm going to bring you guys my Game Week 42 League 2 score predictions. If you do go on to enjoy, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 80 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score predictions for this match. What would your starting 11 be as well? Would you make any changes from Monday's 1-1 draw against Grimsby Town? Obviously, Gillingham's form recently hasn't been particularly great. Our form was poor. Our last two matches, we picked up 4 points, which isn't bad, but our recent performance against Grimsby was really poor. We scraped a last-minute equaliser in that one, so I'm hoping for another 3 points. We obviously beat them 2-0 in the reverse fixture with Jamie Walker and Andy Cook getting on the score sheet. So another result like that would obviously be very positive. I think we haven't won back-to-back home league games this season so far, so we've got an opportunity to do it in this one. Make sure to drop a like on there for me, subscribe if you're new as well, and let's get into it. Channel memberships are now cheaper than ever, with tier 1 costing just 99p. Tier 2 has been reduced from £3.99 a month down to £1.99 a month, and tier 3 has been reduced from £8.99 a month down to just £4.99 a month. Your support, as always, is massively appreciated, and the more members that we have, the better the content will be. Enjoy the rest of the video. If we start out then with how both teams have got on so far this season, my team Bradford City, we currently sit 15th in the table. After 41 matches, we've got 14 wins, 12 draws and 15 defeats, scoring 49 goals and conceding 54, which leaves us on a -5 goal difference and 54 points. Our last couple of matches then have been a draw, a win, a loss and a loss. Them last couple of matches then being a 1-1 draw away at Grimsby Town, who got a red card in that one, a 2-0 win at home to Tranmere Rovers, a 3-0 defeat away at Harrogate Town, a 3-0 defeat at home to Notts County, and a 5-1 defeat at home to Mansfield Town. If we compare that then to Gillingham FC, they currently sit 9th in the Sky Bet League 2 table. After 42 matches, they've got 17 wins, 9 draws and 16 defeats, scoring only the 40 goals and conceding 52, which leaves them on a -12 goal difference and 60 points. Their last couple of matches then have been a loss, a draw, a win, a draw and a loss. Them last couple of matches then being a 5-1 defeat away at Harrogate Town, a 0-0 draw at home to Crewe Alexandra, a 3-2 win away at Morecambe FC, but Morecambe's goalkeeper in that one had an absolute nightmare. They also had a 1-0 draw at home to Grimsby and a 2-0 defeat away at AFC Wimbledon. Their last win before that came on the 2nd of March, where they beat Salford City 2-0 away from home. In terms of the amount of goals they've scored this season, obviously just the 40, that is actually the worst in the entire division. The second worst is Forest Green on 41, so they clearly don't score a lot of goals. They ship in a fair few as well. They're certainly there to be got at, but they are currently just the 2 points outside of the playoff places, but they have played 2 games more than 7th place Crawley Town. Now though, we're going to get into the team that I would go with if I was Graham Alexander. Now it's obviously great to see that we've got a couple of players returning from injury for this one, and in terms of my formation, I've gone with the 3-1-4-2. In goal, I've gone with Sam Walker. Didn't really have much to do on on Monday, if we're honest. Don't think he can really do much about Grimsby's goal. It takes a deflection, and he has been on the whole a pretty positive signing for us so far, so I'd stick with him in between the sticks. Into my back three then, at right centre back, I've gone with Jonathan Tompkinson. I think it is actually a debate at the moment whether you go with Oyegoke or Tompkinson in that right centre back role, because recently Tompkinson has put in a few iffy performances. I know Oyegoke had a pretty decent game against Tranmere, was quite good in central midfield against Grimsby, but I have gone with Tompkinson just because he was part of our back three that went on a really good run of form and conceded very few goals, so I've gone with him on the right side. In the middle, I've gone with Matty Platt, arguably our most important centre-half this season. The proof is in the pudding. When he plays, we don't really concede goals. We concede from a set play on Monday. On Friday, we keep a clean sheet. He's so important to our side, and for me personally, he has to start in the middle. And at left centre-back, I've gone with Kieran Kelly. Obviously, at this moment in time, Sam Stubbs still unavailable. Ash Taylor is back available, but probably won't be in the squad as he hasn't trained today, because I think they were on the 4G rather than on the grass, and because of Taylor's age and physique and all that sort of stuff, he doesn't really train on the AstroTurf. But Kelly hasn't been too bad recently, so I think you kind of just stick with him in there. Again, similar to Tompkinson, he was part of the back three that had been very good for us not even that long ago, so I'll go with him on the left side. As my holding midfielder, I've gone with Richie Smallwood. I know that he doesn't get many plaudits from Bradford City fans, but I personally quite like him. You know, for the captain, I think a lot of people use him as a bit of a scapegoat. I understand his set pieces can be poor at times, and he's a little bit of a moaner, but I'd much rather have him in my team. I think out of possession, He is very, very good. He always wants to be on the ball, so I'd start him as the holding midfielder. Into my midfield four then, at right wing back, I've gone with Brad Halliday. Now, for the large part this season, he has been very good for us, but recently, he's kind of not really stood out as much as he had done at the start of the campaign. I feel like he might have been going through the motions a little bit, hasn't been as good going forward. While I don't think that's necessarily his strongest point, he's not really bombing up down that right hand side like we've seen him do before. Defensively, I still think he is pretty solid, but going forward, I think he could offer a little bit more. In terms of my two central midfielders, firstly I've gone with Jamie Walker. Graham Alexander basically held up his hands in today's pre-match interview and was saying that it might have not necessarily been the right decision to drop Walker for Tompkinson and go with a little bit more height. Walker has that quality and was really good on Friday against Tranmere, so for me personally, he starts in central midfield. And partnering him, I've gone with Clark Adore. I was really impressed with him on off the bench against Grimsby, while Poynton was for the large part marked out of the game. Didn't really have the desired impact, and for someone of his age, you don't want to burn him out and just play him for the sake of it. I feel like he could be a good impact on off the bench, but I'd like to see a midfield pairing of Walker and Adore, obviously in front of Richie Smallwood. And at left wing back, I've gone with Lewis Richards. I feel like recently he had been quite poor against Tranmere on Friday. I thought he had a pretty decent game, but then on Monday against Grimsby, didn't really offer much. Was trying to get some early crosses into the box, but for the large part, Grimsby were doing well to block them and defend them. So I must admit, for the large part, I have been pretty frustrated with Lewis Richards over the last couple of weeks. So hopefully he can get back to his best in this one. Obviously, a young player, still want to develop and grow for the future. So fingers crossed he can come good again in this one. That's my two strikers then. Firstly, I've gone with Andy Cook. He will be back fit and available for this one, which is obviously massive for us. Missing the last two games against Tranmere didn't really affect us, while Smith missed loads of chances. It didn't mean all too much in the end, because obviously we managed to get the win on Monday afternoon. Smith did miss a major chance in the first half, switched off defensively as well for their goal. So let's see Cook come back into the side and get the start in this one. We know about his goal scoring form. Can he hit 20 between now and the end of the season? Hopefully so. I think he only needs 3 more to do that, and he's clearly got that in him. I feel like after missing the last couple of matches, he's going to have that fire in his belly to try and get the job done and get them 3 more goals. And partnering him, I have gone with Callum Kavanagh. Had a really good impact in the match on Friday against Tranmere, coming back into the side after missing the previous couple of games due to international duty, where so frustratingly he didn't actually play a single second of football, but scored his 3rd goal for the club on Friday against Tranmere. A really, really good finish after a good ball in from Lewis Richards, and worked really hard in that one. Was unlucky maybe not to get another one. And also on Monday against Grimsby, I thought he worked really hard, won a couple of headers, and his link-up play wasn't quite there, but I think it didn't really help that we had Oyegoke and Smallwood in the midfield. I think it was a little bit too defensive, but I'd like to see a front two in terms of actual strikers of Cook and Kavanagh, something we've not seen yet. We've seen Cook play through the middle with Kavanagh on the left, and then someone like an Odwar on the right, but I'd like to see with Odwar in the midfield and then Cook and Kavanagh leading the line. On the bench then for me, that I leave Colin Doyle, Daniel Oyegoke, Kevin McDonald, Bobby Poynton, Harry Chapman, Tyreek Wright and Tyler Smith. The players currently unavailable are Sam Stubbs, Alex Gilead and Alex Patterson, and also Jake Young, which means the players who miss out then through selection would be Ash Taylor, Liam Rideout, Adam Wilson and Matt Derbyshire. Now then, we're going to get into my Game Week 42 League 2 score predictions. Starting out then with AFC Wimbledon versus Salford City, I'm going with a 0-0 draw. Accrington Stanley versus Crewe Alexandra, I'm backing the away side for a 2-0 win. Borough AFC versus Swindon Town, I'm backing the Bluebirds for a 3-1 win. Bradford City versus Gillingham FC, I'm backing the Bantams for a 2-1 win. Colchester United versus Wrexham AFC, I'm backing the away side for a 3-0 win. Forest Green Rovers versus MK Dons, I think finishes in a 1-1 draw. Grimsby Town versus Newport County, I think finishes in a 2-1 away win. Mansfield Town versus Crawley Town, I think finishes in a 1-1 draw. Morecambe FC versus Doncaster Rovers, I'm backing the away side for a 2-1 win. Notts County versus Harrogate Town, I'm backing the hosts for a 3-1 win. Sutton United versus Stockport County, I'm backing the away side for a 2-0 win. And finally, Tranmere Rovers versus Walsall FC, I'm backing the home side for a 2-1 win. But I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try to 80 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you're new as well. We're on the road to 9,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so, and it does massively help out. Get your thoughts in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know down below your score prediction for this match. What would your start 11 be as well? Would you make any changes from Monday's 1-1 draw against Grimsby Town? Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we can leave a team like Gillingham in the dust. Peace.